Hello, everybody. It's your boy Kirby K10 here, coming at you with another episode of the Overkill Podcast. We're on episode 76, and I'm here with my boy Meta.
What is up?
And for today's show, I kind of want to start us off with a pretty hot topic. I know me and Meta have both played these games. And this week I've been kind of going through and listening to a lot of videos of, Breath of the Wild versus Tears of the Kingdom. And just for simplicity, if I refer to the games, I'm going to refer to them as Bot W and Totka, respectively. That's just how I like to say
What'd you
them.
call me?
But I personally... And I even went back and I've played both versions on the Switch 2. Just a little bit of Breath of the Wild, and I've almost completed Tears of the Kingdom. And I think this one guy kind of summed it up perfectly on his YouTube video. But he says if you want a better story game, Tears of the Kingdom is obviously the better one. But Bot W is the better gameplay and exploration game. And also, I think one thing too is it depends on which order in which you play the games too. Because if you play Tears first, and then you play Bot W, you're gonna like probably Tears more, just because it was that first time that you played on that map. And if it's the reverse order, which is in my case, that's what it is. You're playing the same map basically with slightly different changes here and there. Obviously, like the shrine locations are different and whatnot. There are a couple shrines that I have found that are literally in the same spot, and I'm pretty sure they're just referencing, or however you say that, they're trying to like reference or show that they're in the same spot, which is weird, but yeah. I don't know. What's your opinion, Meta?
I mean, I I haven't even finished Tears. I'll say I prefer Breath of the Wild because I like the abilities more. I like the bomb. I like the time freeze. I like the I can't remember all of them, but I like the bomb and I like the time freeze the most.
You like the Sheikah abilities more than the Zonai?
Yeah,
Basically.
the abilities in the second one I'm not as fond of, like as far as like building things and putting things together. I think the system's really cumbersome, and then also with a lot of the puzzles where you're putting stuff together, it kind of feels like you're lucky if you make it through sometimes. They are, I don't know, it's just kind of janky. But also I think Breath of the Wild's probably a shorter game. And for that, I kind of like it more. I don't know. I haven't finished Tears though, so maybe I'm just biased.
Yeah, I've actually played Tears. I think I have like 80 hours in it right now. And I remember beating Breath of the Wild in 60, so I haven't even beaten Tears yet. So I'm assuming it's around like 100 hours if you just like casually play it.
Oh yeah, likely.
Obviously, speedrunners probably beat the game in like 2 hours or whatever, but probably like 30 minutes. But I don't know. I liked. I also, one thing that I liked more about Breath of the Wild was the what are they called? The like ancient spider guys. I'm blanking on their name now. Guardians.
Oh yeah.
I like those
Guardians.
more compared to the. I don't even know what they're called. That's how they're very forgettable. The like Zonai ones. Also, one cool thing that I found is in Totka, you can see Sheikah stuff like laying around. In like Pura's lab, they have like it looks like a miniature guardian, some sort of like I don't know, it looks like a computer screen thing. And then in Breath of the Wild, they actually do have Zonai stuff in the game, I believe. So both games have like their own technology and kind of like reference each other. But yeah.
Man. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I agree. For me, it's just as simple as I like the Breath of the Wild abilities more, and then I think going back and trying to play Tears is just it's just more of the same, and um, I don't know if I have that hunger yet to finish it. I own both, but I don't know if I have that hunger to do it. But yeah, guess we're in agreement on that. I think people were expecting a lot more from Tears as well, but yeah, I guess
that's the thing is like the hype train for Totco is way bigger than Breath of the Wild. 'Cause like Breath of the Wild, we were coming out of the Wii U era, so like most people, unless they were diehard Nintendo fans, they were not, looking at the game or trying to decipher. Also, Breath of the Wild took like 8 years to come out when it was after it was first revealed. So I think that's something too.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll finish it. That'd be good. I guess we can move on to this next story, and this kind of maybe ties into what we've been covering the past few weeks. Wall Street Journal, I guess they did a study. They kind of they asked 18 to 24-year-olds, how many games they were buying, and compared to last year, 18 to 24-year-olds have been buying around 25% less video games. And then the other age groups are, anything older than 24 is like only down like a percent. So I guess I'm not surprised with this. There's a bunch of stuff that's gone down. They did accessories, small appliances, apparel, other tech, stuff like that. I mean, those are all down about like 15%. So all that isn't really different. But allegedly, video games are way, way down. I have a theory that this is due to the increased asking price, probably, above anything else. And then I'm willing to put money on there a lot more games are like games as a service now. And so I think a lot of people buy way less games. They tend to get a game or two, and then they're a live service, so they never leave.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm cooking something crazy.
I have a theory. I wonder. They didn't account for this, but I wonder how many of these have gone to subscriptions. I would have liked to seen some research on the video game subscriptions, such as Game Pass and whatever it is, PlayStation Play, and any other kind of game subscription service. Because I think that's really where the industry is heading. I think it's kind of heading in that aspect of it, where it's gonna all be, at least I think that's where it's gonna head. Is just everything's gonna be a subscription. All the
I
games
didn't
are
even
gonna
consider that.
Subs, yeah.
I know. So like the industry's been getting people used to not owning their games for years now, and from what I can tell, like even our friends who I thought were like diehard gamer collector types, even they're just like, yeah, just buy Game Pass or whatever. Like, all right, well, I can. It's just I like to be able to play a game anytime I want without having a sub. But all right.
Yeah, the thing too is, it's definitely the higher asking price, but it's also like the quality of games has definitely gone down too. And on top of that, I think there are just a lot of newer media coming out. Like I feel like most people at my work who are like quote unquote gamers, they talk more about anime than video games, and so I don't know if like that's also a factor, where like they, instead of playing video games, they now watch anime or I don't know, do something else. That could be a factor too.
For sure, I think a lot more people are distracted by a variety of media because there's just so much coming out. So I do think it is a combo, but now that you mention it, it likely is a subscription thing. And I mean, like if you own a console, it's stupid not to get the sub, and you basically need it for online. Like if you own a PS4 or whatever, you might as well get the PlayStation Plus because you get so many free games, and it basically saves you the effort of going out or even just going to the store and buying games. I mean, yeah. Plus, you know, I don't know. I think most people are probably suffering a little bit economically with certain things, and usually entertainment's one of the first things to go.
Yeah, that, and also, like, I mean, most people aren't even going to the store and buying games anymore. They're just sitting at home, pressing buy and downloading it there. You know?
Right.
That's one of the saddest things, is, like, physical media is all but dead at this point.
It's pretty sad.
Only some video game collectors are kind of keeping it alive. Yeah. That's about it. Right?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it. Everyone in the comments has just said, I'm surprised this article has comments, but it is from GameSpot. They're all saying the games are not worth, so. All right, well, there we go. I always like to cover weird stuff like that because it's good to just kind of keep a general idea of the industry, especially the dividing factions and factors and everything. I think it's interesting.
Ace. I guess speaking
we'll
of
move
older
on.
games,
Yeah, baby.
the Croc developers want to bring back a game called Buck Bumble, which is about a bumblebee, and I'm assuming it's a 3D platformer. Looks pretty interesting. It kind of reminds me of like Star Fox, actually. Or maybe
Okay.
there's just a flying mechanic. You can like fly, and it looks like you can shoot. I'm assuming you're a stinger at things.
Bumble. Wow, I have
So it's
never
pretty
seen this game
interesting.
before.
I've never seen it either.
Wow.
But yeah, they also, the executives at Argonaut, they also remastered Croc: The Legend of the Gobos on.
Yes.
I believe I saw it on Switch, and I was like, "Hey yo!" I wanted to get it, but it's $30, I believe, for the. I believe it's just for the one game. I don't think
That's
there's
tough.
multiple games within that. Because I'm pretty sure there was like 3 or 4 Croc games. But yeah, man. How do you feel about? Have you ever seen a Croc, or no?
Croc I am very familiar with. We've covered it a couple times on the pod. I think they also made that game with a hand. It was like Handy or something. Maybe I'm thinking
Glover?
of a different one.
It's called Glover.
Glover. Yeah, we've covered Glover previously, but they kind of remind me of like Rareware, like another version of like Rareware, but yeah, I mean Croc, I'll definitely be getting probably the Croc remake for Switch whenever I can get my hands on one. Still not successful on such endeavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oh well, I guess we'll go into that too because I don't know. I have been on the quest to find a Switch 2, and I could not find one anywhere. I even sat on the Best Buy website refreshing the webpage whenever they supposedly restock, and probably all the bots beat me to it. So, probably going to be another 2 months or a month before I even get a Switch 2, but that's just kind of how the game goes. So, yeah. It sucks, but I just keep studying for my exam. Yeah, this B game here, this Buck Bumble here, man, whew, it
Oof.
it looks pretty rough. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, bro. This
Maybe it was
okay.
fun. Maybe it was fun.
This Oh, this just reminds me of like
It
all
looks
the
like Donkey
platformers
Kong
from that era, and I
64.
think Croc,
Yeah.
from what I've seen, is Croc is like, I believe it was a PlayStation 1 game. I don't think it was on N64, but you had to use the D-pad for 3D controls, and they had to like
Bro.
basically make the levels super simplistic to like be able to work and whatnot. And I don't know, because of that I know the game like kind of suffered a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, it just all the games that they that at least this company makes just always remind me of how janky that generation was. It's not bad. I mean, they're great games from the N64 era, but a lot of them were held back by the fact that it was, new 3D stuff. And also, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but the N64 controller is absolutely horrendous. And that's just actual.
Someone sent me actually a pretty good alternative to them where this one company they actually make like a normal. It almost looks like a Switch Pro controller version of an N64 controller, and it even has the like same hookup and everything. And I was like, man, that's way better. I don't. As a kid, whenever you hold the N64 controller, your hands are small enough to where they can go in between and hold on to that weird third knob in the middle, and it doesn't feel all that bad because your hands are small. But man, as a full-grown adult, after holding that controller, like your hands, like maybe 3 inches apart, not even like an inch, you start getting all cramped up and stuff, and you realize, man, this controller was fucking shit. Because none of the games use the like outer 2 handles except for like I think GoldenEye and a few others, but a lot of them use this middle stick, which I don't know what they were smoking, but it must have been good.
Oh man, yeah. I also think it's
I'm assuming
crazy.
you agree with that take, though.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I think I've played it whenever I was like, I played the N64 last time I was like 16. I think, or something, 17 like that. And, yeah, the controller, I think for, like, a fully grown man, it's okay. It's just kind of, I don't know, to me, there's, like, no ergonomics to it. I think that's the biggest problem. Is, like, the handles, there's no, like, all the handles are, like, smooth plastic, and so it feels like you're just kind of, you have to hold it really tightly, or else it'll slip out of your hand, you know what I mean?
Right.
I never felt like it was the quality on the plastic was not great.
No. Okay, here it is. So the company that I was sent was Retro Fighters, and it has so it looks like a normal Xbox controller. It has the stick on the left. It's got the D-pad in the correct spot, but where the I guess secondary stick would be is the B and A button, and then they've replaced all of the A, B, Y, and X with the C pad, and then there are I assume double bumpers, and I'm assuming the Z button is somewhere on the back. I haven't looked it up, but it's a way better design.
Yeah. That does
Maybe I'll throw it up in the thumbnail for a meme, or maybe I'll throw up the original. I'm not sure. They also make one. They also make a revised GameCube controller, which might be heresy. I know.
No, the GameCube controller is so great, bro. It's
But
as
it
good as
actually
the
looks
Wii U.
pretty good.
I have a hot take too. The Wii U gamepad was a great controller.
Damn. Oh, they said you can hook it up to your Switch too.
Oh man, I don't know. Just to me, like the Wii
You're
U.
smoking something.
No, the biggest thing is the Wii U, unlike the Switch, actually has real control sticks, and so because of that, I never had drifting on the Wii U, neither with the Wii U Pro controller. But the Switch has had drifting issues on both, the Pro Controller and the regular the Joy-Cons. Obviously, the Pro Controllers are less likely to drift, but they still can. Basically, any kind of control stick can drift. But I've almost never had a controller drift unless I'm using it a ton, which is fair enough. I understand things are going to wear down. But a Switch controller, a Switch, should not have that issue after like a year. And that's whenever I first got drift, was a year after I got my Switch. So.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is they need to go back to regular control sticks.
Damn, based.
Yeah. The revived GameCube controller does look like heresy.
Allegedly, it can connect. Oh, so on the N64, when the two triggers are both Z. But yeah, allegedly the GameCube one can connect to Switch, and other things. Apparently, you can connect all of them to PC, which is very, very interesting. In my opinion, they also have a wireless one, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool seeing some aftermarket controller modifications to all these great platforms. But yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Move on. I have a beautiful, juicy story. Kotaku, finally. They are still around, unfortunately, but they were sold off to a European company, Kelops. It's a company that owns Gizmodo, and is part of is kind of part of Geo's, or aka Kotaku's kind of winding down plan. There are a lot of mixed reactions. Obviously, people are saying Kotaku's dead, Kotaku is gone. That's obviously not the case. They're still, unfortunately, going to be around. It just seems they've been sold off to a company for now, and part of that is, from what I can understand, is a little bit of controversy that they always have, and maybe people are finally sick of them, but I'm still shocked they're around. I don't know. What do you take this as?
I take this just as a sign of to me, gaming journalism has always been kind of like a meme.
I'm surprised people don't take it seriously.
IGN, Alpha Sapphire, the game having too much water. That review is still so funny to me. Honestly, I don't know too much. I don't even know too much about the Kotaku controversies they've had. I just I don't like them because they're gaming journalism, and for the most part, gaming journalism is a meme.
Gross. Yeah. Imagine actually taking gaming journalism seriously.
Let's look up why did they hate them. Clickbait, biased reporting, and perceived decline in quality. Wow. I hate to tell you, most gaming journalism has declined in quality. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's just another day, brother. Just another fucking day. That's nothing new. Yeah. It's interesting. And very, very interesting. I don't really think it's anything to get your panties in a wad about or super excited about. I think we were always going to see a bit of a wind down from Kotaku, and it seems like they've maybe are finally going down, but I doubt it. I don't know. No one just buys a company to let it die, so we shall see. We shall see. You and I, so every week, Kirby and I spend time going through the going through stores or going through like gaming journal outlets and picking out stories. And sometimes we go out to stores, or sometimes we just talk about all these things that we're doing in gaming. But one of the most interesting things is like how many articles we get to read through and see. And it's really fascinating that like some of these sites, there'll be like 10 comments, and they're definitely not like AI. But then you'll go to a site like Kotaku, and there's like one comment, and it's not AI either. But it's definitely like, I don't know, the amount of traffic difference, or at least the amount of interaction seems way different. And so you kind of get to see the difference in like what companies get the most reactions and clicks likely just through that. And I'd say Kotaku is almost always at the bottom of most people's list on just giving a shit about anything they do, which, to be fair, is understandable. So
yeah,
I just find it funny. I think Kotaku has been shitting bricks for a long time. They've always been kind of garb, and they'll continue to be garb.
Yeah, to me they were always like knockoff IGN, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
I think maybe they'll slow down on like Kotaku, and maybe they'll like do a complete rebrand. I think that may be what they're doing. They're planning on doing. But
yeah, I think so.
We shall see.
We shall see. When I have an urge to play N64 all of a sudden, so that's great. Thanks.
Speaking of some older games, not that old, but I think me and Meta both want to talk about kind of some games we've been playing recently. And I got Doom Eternal on my Switch 2. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's just playing the Switch 1 version through backwards compatibility. I will have to say, game does run really well, which I was not expecting. It obviously doesn't look that great, but I can play it at least. It's also nice. Portable, which is nice. Yeah, I've been liking it actually. It's the first time I've really gotten into Doom. It actually takes some thought to play the game. Also, I've upped the difficulty, which I think is like the main thing. Is like I might have been playing on too easy of a difficulty back in the 2016 version. I will say, playing a Doom game on control sticks, there's no auto aim unless you like aim in and use your special abilities on the weapons, which I don't want to do all the time. I want to conserve ammo, so most of the time I'm not using auto aim. So it's pretty rough on that end of it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's a fine enough game. Only gone through like 3 levels because the levels are pretty long, but yeah,
they are pretty long. They are very, very long.
Did you ever beat Doom Eternal?
Doom Eternal? No, I have. I have not beaten any Doom actually. I've played a lot through 64, but yeah, not any of the new Dooms, and it's partially because whenever I play them on the easier difficulty, I tend to get a little bored because the formula is kind of like, for the ship mobs at least, it's always like shoot them once, melee, shoot them once, melee. And then whenever you get to the bosses, there's at least a little more thought. So I tend to ramp up the difficulty on the newer ones. And so I know on Doom 2016, I know I'm only like, maybe a 4th through, because I turned up the difficulty to like hard, basically where I die in like 3 shots. So yeah, it's fun though. I just like it a little more difficult because otherwise I get a little bored.
Yeah, and I don't know, I think back whenever the game first came out, I remember hearing that this one is a little harder than the 2016 version. Obviously it makes sense because it's a sequel and whatnot, but yeah. It's kind of all I wanted to say on that.
Yeah. I guess we'll wrap it up soon. I guess game that I was playing last night with the boys watching was New Vegas. Oh, we should talk about Siege. New Vegas, and I I wandered off. I made enemies with the NCS already. I've killed 20 NPCs because I was wearing the wrong fucking outfit, and they kept attacking me. Also killed that ugly mole rat, Rufus or whatever they were keeping as a pet. Um, and yeah, I'm just now making it to Vegas. But so far, it's really fun, really difficult, and I've never really played a Bethesda game. And I've definitely never enjoyed a Bethesda game quite like this. So I'm hoping I can actually finish this time. I guess we should cover Siege, huh?
Yeah, I just wanted to say like, um, do you enjoy, or would you recommend that I play Fallout? Like, and which do you think I should play, New Vegas or should I play? I think there's 3 or 4 is the other two that I was looking at. Because like I don't really like open world style games that much, unless it's got to be a very specific style of
Well,
open world.
I think from what I know, I think if you play any of them, I think it should be 4 or New Vegas. I 4 you probably won't like though because it's a lot more like the newer style RPGs where it's kind of mark objective, move here, do this. Like don't explore on your own. You're kind of handed things, and also there's not as many just like what's the word I'm looking for? Like perception checks or, strength checks or just interesting stuff like that. I think New Vegas is partially fun because it feels like a retro game where the world is not empty, but like it's very much, you pick where you want to go. You don't really know where you're going, and you kind of have to listen to where to go, what to do. It's not like it gives you objective markers or anything, but it still has quality of life like fast travel. So I lean towards New Vegas, but that's just my thoughts on that.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I guess we can talk about Siege. We were playing that with the boys
Yeah, we
last
did.
night.
I had my New Vegas time interrupted a little bit to play some
Siege
Siege.
X,
So,
brother.
Siege X. They have made it feel way better. The grappling, the vaulting, um, the everything just feels way, way smoother. Do you know the exact changes they've made?
No, to be honest, I just know that they added like wall. You can run whenever you're on, like grappled onto a wall, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't know the exact same changes, but I can look them up.
So from what I know, they've made like transitioning from the wall to the floor way smoother. They've made like when you reach the top of something after grappling, you kind of vault over way faster. They seem to have removed a lot of the janky looking animations that make the game feel really really slow, and I think they've shortened the time that they lock you into those animations now. So overall, I think it's a huge change and benefit
Yeah.
for the game. I mean, it's way more playable now than it's ever been.
We didn't get to see all the changes. Mainly Clash. Apparently, she can put her shield down now as like a little piece of barricade, or like a piece of cover, and then hide behind it and use her SMG, which is pretty disgusting.
Nice.
The other thing is Blackbeard now has like his own shield, and then whenever you ADS, his shield kind of like lowers down to where it's like halfway, so his head's still exposing, but you can't shoot his body, which is interesting. I never would have thought we'd see the day where we have another shield operator on attack. To me, it's just it's not. I don't think it's gonna be a big change because you always go for headshots in Siege anyways. So I don't think he's gonna be all of a sudden like a S tier operator or whatnot. Other than that, apparently
In fact,
the audio is just a little bit better. And I will say, the visuals to me felt very good, looked really good. I don't know if I think they maybe upped some things. They added DLSS. I know that for sure because I don't think they had DLSS back when the game was just Siege.
2016.
They do not. They do not have DLSS activated by default if you have a RTX card. So you got to go in there and you have to enable it, which is a little annoying because whenever I first started the game, I was not getting. Well, my computer turned into a jet engine, so I was not happy with that. But once I got all my settings locked in, it was a pretty good experience.
It was fun. I only got to play a game of it. Might play more tonight. I know the homie's on, but I don't know. It feels way better. We were talking about it a little last night, but I'm shocked that it took this long to get these quality of life changes into the game. And it's not like it's not like it's the most imperative changes, but the game feels like so much better. It's hard to emphasize like just how much more polished it is and how much it feels like an actual modern game. And that's something that's always bothered me about Siege is like every action you do used to feel like molasses because it would lock you into this slow, methodic like animation. Like you want to go from the wall to the ground like from a grapple. Guess what? You have to like go through this locked in animation where it turns you 90 degrees. I don't know. It's finally kind of playable again. Also, it seems like everything's a little smoother. Even things like proning and getting up, the animation seems to be better. Where it kind of stutters you between the stages a little bit, but not as bad as it did before. So you can kind of tell like, oh, I'm prone, oh, I'm sitting, oh, I'm standing. Like if you go between them, so. It's very, very nice, and I'm really, really happy with it. It actually makes me want to play the game, when before I would just kind of tolerate how janky it felt. Also, I'm doing way better because of how much better it feels. Yeah, I don't know if you find that or not, but...
Yeah, I tend to agree with most of that. I will say there's one big complaint that I actually just remembered, but I will say I think the UI and like the... being able to like pick your operator and edit stuff. I know it hasn't changed much, but visually some of those icons have been altered to be more like of a gray color. I notice especially in the main menu whenever looking at operators and customizing them. It's hard to tell what I have equipped to that operator. And it's because the icons used to be white and now they're gray or black, and it can be a little confusing on like the UI end of things, on what exactly I'm doing or what has changed. So I think that still needs some improvement or maybe a reversion back. But other than that, I mean, game's basically 99% better. You know what I mean? It was like 98%, I think, and now the game's like 99%. You know what I mean? It's a small change, but definitely needed.
Yeah, I think it's been way better to play. So check out Siege X, baby. It's doing way better, way more amazing. Yeah. I guess that's it. Hope you all have had a great week. Thanks for tuning in. I have been Iron Meta Frankie.
And I'm Kirby DK10. Peace.
Adios.